major changes in how podcasts are done. They had a venture about a year and a half, 2 years ago, YouTube did, called YouTube EDU, that didn't really go anywhere. And when people think of YouTube, what kind of videos do you think of? Seriously. Cats. I think of cats for some reason. I don't know what what do you say, Tom?
Silly cats.
Silly cats. Yeah, there you go. It's either cats or silly cats. So, it just didn't go. But it's a great service to use, a great tool to use for educators. One of the limitations, though, has been it only lets you upload, when you set up an account, a 15-minute video, which is like, for some faculty or most faculty it might be fine. But most of my classes I teach, at least 50 minutes. I need at least 50 minutes, or an hour, something like that. So anyway, November of last year, they did come up with YouTube Unlimited. And what's cool about it is you just have to basically, let me show you here real quick. I think I've got the default information here. You basically just have to be an account in good standing. You got to have a mobile phone. Landlines don't work, I found out. You have to have a mobile phone to verify your account, that you are who you say you are. And no content blocks. What that means is you've not used any copyrighted information and uploaded it yourself. They do have people that all they do is screen videos to see if you have music, movies, whatever in your podcast or videos that you've uploaded. That's all they do. So if you have all these, basically if you have in good standing, you say, well, I've not even created an account, so you're in good standing right now. But basically just create an account, you just go to youtube.com, create and register an account. I tell faculty to stay, and employees here to stay online maybe for about a month, practice a couple uploads. And it takes about a month for you to become in good standing. Just you have to upload a few videos. It can be movies from your house, home videos, whatever you want to upload there. And then after about 30 days, you can then upgrade your account to unlimited. And it just says here, I'll read it. It says all users have the ability to upload 15 minutes. That's by default. And then you can also attain ability to upload longer if your account's in good standing. Verify your account with a mobile phone and no content ID blocks. This is actually right from their YouTube page. And it literally takes about a minute to do this. Now they tell me, and I've not tried this yet because I've had unlimited for a while, that now you can just register as a new user and do this immediately. So if you want to try this maybe in the near future, let me know if that's the case. It wasn't so 6 months ago, but it's supposed to be that way now. So if anyone kind of wants to try it over the weekend or whatever, that would be great. Just email me and say, hey, yeah, I signed up and I'm unlimited now. And it'll actually tell you that you can upload videos that are unlimited. In fact, let me show you here what it looks like when you have the ability to upload. So if I go to youtube.com, log in with my account, I'm already logged in. So I'll go there so many times. So here's my account, and one of two ways you can upload. You can upload natively within YouTube, or the way I'm going to show you today, as I upload through Screencast-O-Matic. It does it for you. But you can upload larger files. If this little blue bar at the top says, congratulations, your account is now enabled for uploads longer than 15 minutes. Now, from what I've been told, people that do a lot of videos, more so than I do, they've had full-length productions that can upload 2.5-hour productions upload to YouTube now by being a content creator. And I guess a key word there is content creator. You have to create all the content yourself, if that makes sense. Now there are some stipulations and things that they do let you kind of get away with, but for the most part, creating that content yourself. And I'll browse back to my channel real quick just to show you my activity. what I've done over the last, mainly over the last year. I'll go to they have what's called My Channel when you create an account, and I've got 3,013 views, and it should say somewhere here on video uploads somewhere. I think it's back here on my video manager. I don't even pay attention. 152 uploads. And that's about the last, actually real heavy, the last 6 months on uploading. But as you can see, these are all different classes I upload videos to. Some of them short tutorials, some of them whole sessions. I teach a lot of technical classes, and so a lot of, screen, showing them how to do this, how to do that, and my voice is recorded, and then students can watch it over and over again. And so that's YouTube EDU. And let me switch gears here and bring this back real quick. Now, some of the pros for podcasting on YouTube you might already be aware of. YouTube videos can be viewed on they can be on all major web browsers, can view YouTube videos. Students, for the most part, in community, Chrome and Google's the top two browsers. Business is still IE. Internet Explorer, and it can be viewed on there as well. And a lot of students that I have use either Google or Chrome, one of the two. And so the other is no additional software is needed for people to view the videos. And I know some of you are here for course related, some of you are here for divisional related items. And this is going to go both ways, either one that you want to create content for. Somebody asked me a question earlier, which was, how do faculty use it currently to do it? Well, so majority of faculty create static podcasts that have been there for like a year and a half on the iTunes U. And every once in a while they might delete one and have me add a couple, whatever, each semester. But there's not something, I'm probably the heaviest user for sure. But there's probably 5 of us on campus that probably upload an average of about 50 to 60 new podcasts a semester for our classes. And so because some of mine are static as well that I don't change. And I'm trying to make it even more static. It's hard for me because technology changes so much. Different operating systems, different software we use, and so it'd be nice if I could create it once and be done with it, but it doesn't work that way yet. I've tried. But yeah, exactly, yeah. If I was teaching Latin, maybe that'd be good. And so, if you have static information, you can create it once. But I know some of your divisions would maybe want to use it for news purposes, populating information to your employees or to students on student services, things of that nature. And iTunes U can be used with that along with YouTube, but I'll show you how this is linked in just a second. Because originally, one of the hiccups, I think, was for faculty, and this goes across the board because there's over 800 colleges and universities that use iTunes University right now. And I've talked to a lot of people that are involved with it here in Illinois, and the way that the uploads occurred or how faculty had to upload was kind of cumbersome a little bit, I think. And so what's great about it is, which I'm excited to show you in just a second, how you can upload your YouTube video via screencast.com or whatever. Just give me your channel and I can link it to iTunes U. Done. All your podcasts will be synced immediately. I have a script that runs and downloads, because I have a script that can run and pull your video from YouTube and download it and then port it to iTunes U. And so gone are the days where you had to log in to iTunes U, upload your video, rename it, and manage it. It's kind of clunky. And now by having a program like screencast.com, omatic.com, that's one I recommend. I've been using for the last year just about. It's pretty seamless. And it works. And they keep updating screencast.com, screencastomatic.com as well, all the time. One of the cons, though, or some of the cons for YouTube is you can't view it offline, but that's where iTunes U comes in. Because say you do create your content and upload it to YouTube, you let me know the channel, I can create basically a channel on iTunes University that video is going to be ported to within 24 hours. It's not portable. YouTube isn't. Now, I guess that's kind of a misnomer. With mobile devices that are wireless and cell phones that can have web browsers on it can view YouTube videos, that's kind of a misnomer, because there are some devices that definitely can view YouTube at any time. In fact, a lot of devices can. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to put this together was there's a lot of, Nielsen's latest study is that mobile devices are basically what people are using now. Consumers are using, businesses are using it to get all their content. And whether we like it or not, that's how people get their news. That's how people find out about what's happening. Twitter, Facebook, and their mobile device. And so this fits real well into that scenario. YouTube does. They're already used to using it, and so works real well. And they can view it and back it up, or save it on their device as a bookmark. But there's some new stuff that has happened in iTunes U called Course Manager. This is shifting gears to iTunes U now. It was released in 2012 in the beginning or end of January. It was targeted, though, and I don't really like this, but it's Apple. I understand it. It was targeted for iPad devices, iPhone, and iTouch. And I use iPad a lot, but a lot of faculty and a lot of students don't have the device. And so I'll show you in just a second a demo of what it looks like, which does look pretty slick. It looks nice, but it does allow faculty to create an entire course from beginning to end, or even a division to create content from beginning to end, like information about that course, the instructor, podcast, assignments, links to books, everything could be in there now. Here's the screenshot of what it looks like, the iTunes U app on an iPad, and I'll show you a demo here. As you can see there, I have one from Harvard, and I have the rest of them from RVC, and so basically it's just like a bookshelf once you add your courses, and then you click on the course that they're assigned to, the students are assigned to, or the public's published, went out to iTunes U and grabbed onto. And once you subscribe to that course or that division or whatever it might be, it's there in your iTunes U library. So let me show you what it looks like here. I created one just for you guys, and it's called PHP. It's one of my web development courses. This little hat, that's what it looks like now for the course manager. And it jumps right into a notebook tab type of layout. You have info, posts, notes, materials, and overview. Again, you can put whatever. I didn't spend a lot of time on the overview part or instructor part, but you can put that, a lot of data in there. Go right into the outline. And then posts are according to whatever chapter or week you're in. This one I have tied to homework for week 1 in this class for demo purposes, and it also has a podcast link to it that they can click on immediately and begin watching it right with their iPad. Boom. They're watching that podcast. And so it's pretty slick, but it's only developed and made for iPad or iPhone or iTouch devices. You hear the voice on that. So again, I do like it. I think it is nice. They have talked about, though, looks like it's still moving on me. They have talked about taking this, and they're in development right now, taking this and making apps for PC, which they need to do, and Macs. But I know what they're doing is if it's made for iPad right now and iPhone and iTouches, they're seeing if schools will buy onto it. And there have been a few that have. That have just, because you can buy bundles through Apple of say 200 iPads and you get a special price break or whatever. And that's fine. And that works, I guess. But I think to really get the market share, they're going to have to get these apps out for other, because you can't even view this on any other device but an iPad, iPhone, or iTouch. Which again, it's marketing. But from everything I've heard, probably by summer months, they're going to come out with the PC app for this, mobile apps for Droids, and because that's a popular phone students use and mobile devices that the people in the community use. So you got the two top phones, the Droid and iPhone. Those are the two top ones out right now. And then for business folks, Blackberries, you really don't hear many apps made for that really. So, but that's what the interface looks like. It's pretty slick. But again, right now just made for iPhone devices. Any questions on this? iPad and iTouch, which some of you might have, but okay, let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Which is some of the facts on iTunes U, outside of what I just showed you, the new service they have. Because we still have the old service we have, which I'll show you in a second on my computer. But I think they have over 800 college universities that currently use iTunes University. RVC currently has about 325 podcasts. I just got the latest stats from Apple. They send me one every month. We have like 100,000 viewers each month roughly, because they're viewed worldwide. People can get them anywhere in the world. And I do get emails from students and people from all over the world literally wanting more information about classes. And some of my online classes, like this semester, I have 3 students in my PHP class that are out of state because they saw the iTunes U. So there is a way kind of a market your class in a way, even internally for face-to-face classes. I know there's faculty here that use podcasting in their classes, and students know that, and that does help them kind of see how they teach and if they want to take that class or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of cool to have that. Students have told me that they really like it. And then students and community could get campus updates. We do have a few, I'll show you in a second, a few bit of information on iTunes U right now, but I'd like to have more. I know with everything that's been going on with administration and faculty, it's been kind of, this semester I've not really touched that too much. But most semesters I get updates from Jack and get some news from them, get maybe a new podcast, a video from Amy, but I've not done that this semester at all. But just general news about campus, introduction, financial information, admissions, stuff like that was used in prior semesters. Departmental news, guest lectures, like the first Tuesday lecture had been talked about being used in this format and in iTunes U. So a lot of cool uses you could use this for. We can still, though, create private departments on iTunes U, private areas to where only certain users that have those certain rights can see that. You can do that as well. And so if you are interested in that, I can set something like that up for you to do that. Because some faculty might not, want their podcast publicly out there, or even divisions. You might just want to, because I can give you a URL that takes you right there to that, and it's not a public URL that anybody can see or search for it. iTunes U is free for Mac, PC, Linux, and it helps you manage the podcast. Students, community members can register once with the podcast channel, and that's all they have to do. They forget about it, and you don't have to keep registering over and over again. And what's cool about you, I like how iTunes works, because it'll upload or download the newest podcast for you as a background app that runs in the background all the time. And this is the coolest part I really love. I'll circle this one. You can link now, which I've been asking for probably 3 years, the ability to link whatever, I don't care what it is. If Tom wants to create a podcast and put it on his website, or on a school server, we should be able to link to that as a source to go to iTunes U. I don't want the content to be, I want to control the content. Tom wants to control time, but whatever. You know, you want to control that content that you have. So we can do that. And so that source can be whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be YouTube, it could be whatever. If it's a URL, I can now source it. And it has to be an RSS enabled URL, which YouTube has all that built in already for us, for me to use. I've had to do a few things to help me get around some stuff, but if you do have a place that you currently podcast to, or you're thinking about it, ask me about it, and I might be able to just source it from there and say, you know, I can use that. You don't have to move it. And so
that's done dynamically. So once I set up a link between a YouTube channel and iTunes U,
and
then that's the only thing you have to do.
That's all I have to do. I have to know, you just give me the link, right? I make sure everything looks good and it comes in right. I might have to do some tweaking to it, but once that's set up, done.
So I post a new video on YouTube, it's automatically.
Correct.
Can I delete it from YouTube?
If you delete it from YouTube, you would have to let me know just to make sure, because I have had some stuff not deleted in a timely fashion. I think it should delete it, but because I think what Apple does is when it comes in, they don't know if they cache it or if they do something with it and store it temporarily, because it has taken a while and I've had to manually go and delete myself. So if you do delete something, I would say let me know so I can delete it. Maybe just email me or whatever, because it's, you know, they say they do, but they say that it will over time, but I've waited like 3 or 4 days, and I thought, and it told me like 24 hours and didn't happen, so I deleted myself. So if you do delete a YouTube video, yeah, just let me know, and I can delete it from the iTunes U channel, because I don't really trust the, and I think it's because it's so new, probably. Not that I don't trust it, it's the technology is so new. They don't have all the kinks worked out in it, so. So yeah, the linking of YouTube is great, because what's cool about it is like what I'm doing right now. Once I'm done with this session in here, all I hit is one button in Screencast-O-Matic to publish it to YouTube, and I'm done. It takes my podcast or my video, my voice and everything you see here, uploads it to YouTube, and then dynamically takes it from there and posts it to iTunes U within 24 hours. And I tell my students this semester, because the way I use it now currently, since Eagle works well with YouTube videos, YouTube allows you to embed code, and you don't have to be a geek or anything to do this, and I'll show you how to do it in a second. You can just click a button that says embed. You post that code in your Eagle website or your departmental website or whatever, and that video will show up on that web page. So students are used now to me to going into whatever week it is that they're currently in, and that video's there usually before they get home, and then if they want, they can go to iTunes U, but a lot of them have told me they don't really even use iTunes U now. Yeah, they just use Eagle. And now one of the issues I have found I've been doing a little bit different, just to help bandwidth-wise on campus, is I have told students, if at all possible, you might want to watch those podcasts at home. Not to say you can't watch them here on campus, you know, you definitely can. But the whole purpose of podcasting and anything outside of the campus is to watch outside of campus. So on your mobile phone, you're at the house, whatever, at your friend's house, just to save bandwidth, kind of like saving paper. Bandwidth is pretty expensive, and so just to be a good steward of bandwidth. And so when I say that, students don't know exactly what I'm talking about. So your students will too. If you say, hey, you guys mind just watching this outside of campus? Because there is times we've all seen it where the network's been dirt slow or whatever, for whatever reason. And a lot of times it can be because everybody's hitting web, video sites or whatever the case may be. So I always tell my students that, and it works fine. So some pros on iTunes U. It is an educational audience as soon as they go there in iTunes University. Technology is focused specifically on colleges and universities and K through 12. Software is free. Users can port to mobile devices. So these are some positives, definitely. It's, not all negatives, definitely some positives here. Some cons, you have to use iTunes U. Now, about a year ago, I'm a programmer, web programmer. I created a web browser that actually mimicked iTunes, where you didn't have to install iTunes. but they changed it like 10 times since then, and I haven't had time to update it, so it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, to me, the next step for Apple would be give us a web browser that you guys update however you want to, but it's on a web browser. I don't want to install software. And not to say I couldn't install software if I wanted to. You can have it, but I shouldn't be forced to, if that makes sense. And so I think that's where they're hurting a lot of they could have more colleges really, I think, getting on the bandwagon. But with this link to YouTube, that helps tremendously. And navigation, I'll show it to you in a second, is kind of clunky a little bit. It's better than it used to be on iTunes University, but it still could be a little bit better. They're working on it. And it cannot be viewed on web browsers. You have to download the software, register for the course, or register for whatever podcast, and then it downloads that content to iTunes, and then you can watch it within the iTunes environment. Now, granted, you don't have to have a mobile device to watch it. You just have to have a computer that has iTunes installed. And I do have students that use it just like that. And I wanted to real quickly, before I show you iTunes, just go through this is how I do stuff, how I do podcasting. I thought might be helpful, regardless if you're doing this for a class or you're going to do this for a division or whatever. These are some things that will help you, I think. I'm going to go over 3 items: pre-production, recording, and sharing. The first is pre-production. You create or use an existing PowerPoint or Keynote, right? And a lot of you already have all that stuff already. You've already got the data. You've already got the presentations maybe already done. Or you can create a whiteboard, and there's a couple options here. If you have an iPad, there's a couple apps I put up here: Whiteboard Pro, iSplash Top, ThinkPad, and a really cool one I found recently is called awwapp.com, which is totally online. You don't have to install anything, and it's a whiteboard, and I'll show it to you. In fact, let me go ahead and go there real quick because it's kind of cool. It's not been out that long, and it's cross-browser compatible. And it does allow you to save the whiteboard too, I found out this afternoon. www.app.com. Okay, nothing fancy. It's just a web whiteboard. It's just like this, but on a website. And you just click Start Drawing. And you can then select your color palette, pencil, and then begin drawing whatever information you're putting on there. It also has a way to post this or save this. This is actually a picture right here. There it is right there. It actually prompts me to save it. And so if the one thing that's kind of you might think about if you do something like this is you can buy like let me show you. If you ever use a whiteboard, what I recommend to faculty to use, if you ever do this, I have a couple math teachers that use this. If I've got it in here. So I thought I'd pass around some of the stuff I've got. There it is. I'll pass this around. This is only like $20. That was only $20. Anyway, that's got a pen, stylus to it. You can get, or you can just use your finger basically to draw on it or write on it. And it's a Bamboo, which is a real popular brand for plugging into your computer to draw on. Because mouse is kind of clunky doing it with a mouse. You can do it, but I don't know if it's my age. I don't think it is, but anyway, your hands get real crampy after a while using that. But that one's probably one of the coolest ones I found. That's totally free, doesn't cost anything, and it's on the fly. I like that. You can get it any time. So awwapp.com, you can go there to get that. And let me show you another one, I guess. Yeah, I got time. We're supposed to go to 4, right? I tell you guys that? All right. Let me go and show you another one here that I use in class. This would be for the iPad, but one of the things a faculty always ask me is they don't have, Apple does not have a discount for iPads. They do for everything else, like 10%, I think, but for iPads, they don't. We'll do that. Okay, I'm going to choose a room here real quick. We'll just type in, let's see here. Okay, cool. All right. Now, if you'll go to, I'll write up on the board. I use this sometime in class. Not all the time, but sometimes. It's mysyncpad.com. I'll write it on here. mysyncpad.com/podcast. mysyncpad.com/podcast. If you want to go there, if anybody wants to go there, you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll kind of wait. And they do have comparable. If you're interested in something like this, let me know. I don't have any sites with me or apps with me right now, but they do have some comparable ones like this for the PC that I can email you. You basically, what you're doing on your screen, students can access on their monitor in the classroom or mobile device and are able to view it dynamically as you're drawing or whatever. So if I go up here, and I know a few of you are still loading, but you don't see the tools, but let me just kind of real quick, I'm going to walk this around and show you. You have a palette to work with. You have a palette to work with here of tools. And colors that you can choose. And you can also add stuff like PDFs to the file or to the board. Here, I'm going to show you over here. So you have tools available. You can't see on the board or on your screen, but I can see it on the iPad that lets you bring in other items. Cool. Yeah. And what's cool about it is you can actually, if anybody heard of Dropbox before? You can bring in stuff from Dropbox to this device or to this. And so, for instance, let me bring in one here real quick. It's take a second to download it. Do what now? This is an iPad app, but if you're interested on using this type of app on a Mac or PC, let me know. I do have some apps that I don't have them with me today. I'm sorry. The way I've used it basically is you can, with some apps, give the users ability to do feedback on that screen. This doesn't allow you to do that. But there are whitepad apps that allow you to do that, to where, say, you draw a problem on the board, on the whiteboard, and the students answer it, or a group answers it. I've used it like that before too, and that works really good. And so that's how I've used it. For the ThinkPad, mainly the way I've been using it is in my photography class this semester, where I want to show a group of pictures, like say 20 pictures, and then each student gives feedback, on a piece of paper or verbally or within a group setting. So it's kind of a conversational, and it does take over their monitor to where they're less distracted, if that makes sense, especially classrooms that have computers. And so it is a way kind of instructionally to control what they're viewing, if that makes sense. And so that's how I use it as well. Because I have had faculty actually like that feature because they control basically what the students are viewing in front of them. And then they might not even use the overhead at all. Just turn it off or use the monitors. So you can do that as well. It's a good question. Does that answer it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and so what I just loaded here was basically the PDF file that we've been using today. I downloaded that from Dropbox into this area. And then what's cool about it is you can actually, you can draw on it just like I was earlier with the device. And so you can go ahead and close out of that browser on that. Okay. Now I want to show you, switch gears here, and I want to show, so we talked about Keynote, having a Keynote or PowerPoint ready, whiteboard, we talked about that on pre-production. Scripting you don't really have to do. I've never done it. Maybe some faculty say it helps them to do that, to write like a little script, especially if you're doing this in your office maybe. It might help, I'm thinking. I don't know. You might try that if you're nervous and you really don't want to mess up. You could write yourself a little script to go by. I would suggest if you're going to do that though, keep it like outline form. Don't be detailed because you'll get caught up in reading and not doing. Does that make sense? So that'll help you a little bit. So you start with your presentation or whiteboard or both. So the way I teach, I was telling somebody earlier, I think I was telling you earlier that I do about 20% PowerPoint and the other 80% is just hands-on. Here's how we do something. Here's how we program this. Here's how we do that. But your area might just be totally just PowerPoint done and voice over the PowerPoint, and that's it. And that works fine. Then connecting a USB mic. This is what I definitely recommend. Now I know all your PCs or laptops have microphones. This is definitely worth an investment, I think. I found this out at a conference about 2 years ago. It was a guy from Apple. He was an engineer who I met who had this in a meeting like this. We had about this many people actually. And I go, what are you wearing? What is that? How are you recording this? And he told me, and I go, where'd you get that at? And he goes, oh, I got it free at a conference. I'm like, oh. And I asked him what the make and model and everything was. And at this time when I bought it was, I think, $249 when I bought mine 2 years ago. I think they're now like $189, $199, something like that. It's the X-Tag USB wireless microphone. What's great about it is it's got a lithium battery in it, rechargeable lithium battery. You plug it into your USB drive to charge it up. It has a 30 feet circumference. It only records your voice. It doesn't pick up outside voices, so for classroom purposes, it's really good. And I found it even works well in an office environment. Because my office has an echo in it. When I don't use this, it has like I'm in a dungeon. Okay, maybe yours doesn't, but it kind of sounds like like I'm in a cave or something like that. And so this works really well, and it's rugged. I'm very rough on my equipment, and so this has been thrown in 4 or 5 different types of bags. I've never had it break. It's just really rugged. I really recommend it. Because you can nickel and dime microphones where you spend this amount of money over a 2-year period of time on different microphones. I don't like this one, because I did that. I've never even looked at another microphone after I got this. Because I'm very picky when it comes to microphones, and I'm also very hard on them. And so I'm just telling you, and they don't give me anything for this, but this is a great microphone. And anything you can find through X-Tag, if you just Google X-Tag USB wireless, they have other products too. Anything that they sell, I would definitely recommend. Because I think they have like a Bluetooth one that you can put in your ear, and you can record through your phone and laptop or whatever. This one I just plug into my Mac, or I can plug it into. Sometimes it's at the classroom. I'll just bring to class my iPad, my USB mic, and I'll plug it right in the instructor station, USB mic, and then I'll just start teaching. Because I can use ThinkPad like we're doing now, and students can see what I'm doing there for the presentation, and then go right into live discussion. And so that's the way I use it as well, is by letting students kind of be a part of it. And so X-Tag is definitely well worth your look anyway. And then finally, number 3, recording the computer monitor along with your voice using screencast-o-matic.com like I'm using here today. I've used tons of products, and maybe you have too or tried them. I've researched all of them. This is the best one, the best, hands down, online product to record anything, whether it be a 2-minute, here's how to do something, here's how to go to this website to find this, done. And what's great about it is, if you do this on your laptop or desktop in your office, it does stay on your office or laptop, and you can pull them up after that and edit them. It has editing features in this software that lets you do like trimming, audio editing, nothing real fancy, but edits that definitely faculty and divisional folks would definitely like, because you might have a post of silence of, say, a minute, and you're like, I don't really like that. And you can just trim it out real easily. Do I know? Camtasia I have used, but Camtasia is device-oriented, and so you have to have that device with you all the time to record through Camtasia. This one I can be at any browser on campus or off campus, and I can start recording. And so I can record whatever. And so that's the benefit over, even though Camtasia is a great product, and definitely like it. The way I do podcasting, though, and a lot of faculty here are different devices all throughout the day, and you might be as well. You can fire up this application online, screencast-o-matic.com, and start recording. So you're not tied to one unit. So that's a benefit. Here's the cost, which is really reasonable, $15 a year is what I pay, unlimited. You can save it to the local computer as a movie file when you're done, to archive it and to back it up, which I definitely recommend doing. You could also upload it. Now, I don't do that all the time. I maybe do it once a month because I don't have time to mess with it all the time. I just record, I'm done. Maybe on a weekend once a month, I'll go in, okay, I'm going to back up all my stuff and make sure everything's saved properly. And then, do what now?
It's $12.
Is it $12? Okay. I think it was $12 when I paid it last time. I think I upped it. I think I rounded it up or whatever to 15. It was probably 12 when I paid it. But very reasonable, definitely very reasonable. A .mov, like through QuickTime, yeah, and it saves it as an H.264 to be technical, which is the format needed for most podcasting environments like YouTube or iTunes U. It's already in that format already for you, so that's great. Now, an hour long, which I do a lot, an hour long video takes about 10 minutes to save it locally. It takes about 14 to 15 minutes to upload it to YouTube, something like that. It might take longer depending on your connection speed. But I just let it sit there and let it upload and do its stuff and go eat dinner or whatever, or do some stuff around in the office. And so just let it sit there and upload. It's fine. I have been doing all my uploads, though, recently, this semester anyway, at home, because there has been issues on uploading. And again, it's just bandwidth issues here on campus, which is normal. And I just do all of my uploading at home. I don't even mess with it here on campus. So I take my laptop home, or if I'm at a computer, what's great about Screencast-O-Matic, if you have a USB drive, you can save that. They have a file called it saves it as an extension .som. That's the extension it gives it. You can save that file on a USB drive, bring it to your computer at home or your office, and open it up within screencast-o-matic.com, and then do your editing and upload it then if you don't have time to do it. You can do it trimming. Yeah, you can also import other videos in an existing video, or input other audio into an existing. And so, yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff. There's actually features on the editing I've not used that are really pretty advanced. The stuff I use mainly is trimming, for sure. I use that. I have used the audio because you can turn down the audio or turn it up, or you can do real fancy stuff with it. But what's great about it, it's all built in. You don't have to export it and then do it on another program or something. You know, like I don't have to use GarageBand or anything like to do it. It does it all within the app, which is nice. And so that's basically on recording how I do it. Now to share, because of the YouTube changes and iTunes U changes, here's how I recommend podcasting. Set up a YouTube account. If you don't have one, do it. Also set up a screencast-o-matic.com account. You can try it out for free. I think they give you, it's a 15-minute limit or something like that initially. Try it out. I did that for like a month. I didn't know if I'd like it or not. You might not like it. I'm going to say you will. Okay? But go ahead and try it out before you shell out the $12. And once you create a podcast or screencast with screencast-o-matic.com, you can immediately then upload, which I'm going to do actually before you leave. I got 5 minutes. So then all you need to do for me is, once you set up your YouTube account, email me your YouTube channel when you have videos on there to be posted, and I can connect